Let's discuss about the security aspects of PowerShell. So in this topic we will discuss about the goals of PowerShell security. When we talk about the security, what are the goals behind implementing the security in PowerShell? What are different execution policies? What is digitally signing a script? And what are the other security measures which are introduced in PowerShell with regards to security? So, first thing, the goals of security. Whenever we talk about security in PowerShell, whatever security measures are available in PowerShell, those measures are available to prevent accidental changes or prevent accidental damage that a PowerShell script can do. When I say accidental, that means it is not intentional. PowerShell can prevent unauthorized changes. Like if you have written a script and you don't want anyone to make changes to your script, because when you are writing a script, you are writing with some intention, with a specific purpose in mind, but without your knowledge, if somebody has modified that script, so what will happen? You, without knowing that somebody has modified the script, will run the script. You will run the script, and that script will, if you have administrative privileges, that script might do something destructive. Whatever changes those were made in that script by someone, if he is deleting some objects from Active Directory, or if he is deleting some files, some important files from the server, or bringing down some services from some critical servers, everything will happen with your authentication and your credentials, because you are the one who are running the script. The script will not tell you that somebody has modified me, don't run me. That is the normal situation prior to PowerShell. So when we talk about VB scripting or any other scripting language, if somebody has modified or if somebody has made changes to your script, script will not tell you that I modified. If you are running the script, it will do its job. Whatever is written, whatever code is written in the script, it will start doing its job without any questions. But with PowerShell, Microsoft has implemented security in such a way, if you have set a correct policy, and if you have created some script and someone else has modified that script, and you don't know that somebody has modified it, now you are trying to run the script will not run. It will give you error because of digital signing. Now we will first discuss about digital signing of the scripts, then I will explain what these security policies are. Now, before we look at how scripts are digitally signed, let me tell you one thing. If you are an administrator and you have decided that I want to screw up this infrastructure, you have some rage with the company, they have fired you or something has happened, you have something with your manager and you want to screw up this company as an administrator, nobody can stop you. Even PowerShell cannot stop you. If you have written a script for deleting all the Active Directory objects one by one, or for bringing down the services on some critical servers, if you are an administrator, you can do that using PowerShell script. PowerShell also will not stop you. That is not the goal of the PowerShell security. Okay, now before we talk about the execution policies, let's discuss about the certificates and trusting. So in PowerShell, let me see if I can show you one screenshot of digitally signed script. Because earlier, if a script is digitally signed, it would show you when you open that in Notepad, it will show you the digital signature. Okay, let me show a script block. I don't think I have it on my computer. Not script block, signature block. Okay, so look at this example. Let me open that in a bigger window. So suppose this is your script. I will show you how you can digitally sign a script. Suppose this is your script. For digitally signing a script, you need to have a code signing certificate. And code signing certificates are not for free, and those are not issued to individuals. So I cannot show you the actual example because I don't own any code signing certificate. You have to buy it as a company. Those certificates are issued to a company, to an organization, and once you get that certificate, you can digitally sign your scripts using that certificate. What is the meaning of digitally signing a script? So the command for, let me show you first the command for digitally signing a script. Suppose you have a certificate for signing the code. You have obtained it from uh, any certification authority like TWATE, VeriSign, Microsoft. There are a lot of certificate issuing authorities. So after you got that certificate, you have to create the reference to that certificate, and you can do that by storing that certificate in a variable like cert is equal to get item uh, cert. You remember we have used certificate path cert colon current user my. Suppose you have that certificate available there. Currently there is no certificate in my store. Let me pick it from somewhere else. Root. So this is how you can capture a certificate. Now if you check $cert, it is a certificate object that you have got. This is the thumbprint of the certificate, and this is the subject, which includes the issuing authority and everything about the certificate. Now, how to use this certificate for signing a script file? First, you need to find the script file dir star.ps1. If there is any script file, yeah, there is one, test.ps1. So command is set hyphen authenticode signature hyphen certificate, the certificate that we have created just now in the certificate variable. Now file path test.ps1. Now definitely this is going to give me an error because the certificate that I am using is not a valid code signing certificate. See, cannot sign the code. The specified certificate is not suitable for code signing. But assuming that you actually have a code signing certificate, then it will successfully get signed. And once the script is digitally signed, what happens is this one. After it is digitally signed, in previous versions of PowerShell and Windows, it used to show you this code block here, signature. This is called signature block. Now what is this signature block? Whatever code you have written while digitally signing this script, this code is the encrypted version of this source code. This signature block will include the encrypted version of this source code. Why it is important? Because this encrypted version should always match the original source code. Suppose if I add one extra character here in the source code, this will not match with the original source code. The signature block's encrypted version will not match with the original source code which was there when this script was digitally signed. Got it? Are we all on the same page? Kiran, Sai, you're getting what I'm explaining, right? Okay, so tomorrow if somebody is making changes to my script, this signature block will not match with the original source code and the script will not execute if you have set the execution policy to the correct one. And what is that correct one? That we will discuss. But before we discuss execution policies, I wanted to explain you what is a digitally signed script. So this is how a digitally signed script looks like. But currently in Windows, with the latest version of Windows and PowerShell, even if a script is digitally signed, you cannot see this signature block in the script when you open it. Earlier it used to show, now it is not showing. Then how to check if a script is digitally signed or not? So first question, where will you find digitally signed scripts? Digitally signed scripts can be found under the root folder of PowerShell, that is PS Home, cd $PS Home. This is the root folder of PowerShell. This is where PowerShell is installed. Here, when you give dir, all these files, these PS1 XML files, these are digitally signed files. These are the view definitions, default views. We have discussed about default views earlier, you remember? So that time we have seen, I have told you, don't make changes to any of these files. If you make changes, something will break in PowerShell. So the reason was these files are digitally signed. Now let me show you how to check the signature if it is correct or not. Now instead of making changes to the original file, I have copied this file to signature test. I have created a copy of that file so that accidentally if I make some changes, PowerShell should not get affected. But whenever you are creating a copy of your script file, the signature will also get copied. Now how to check if it is digitally signed properly or not? Get authenticode signature and give the name of the file, signature test.ps1xml. Now with this you will get the output. If it is properly signed, it will give you the signature certificate, signer certificate, status as valid, and the name of the file. Now let me open that file with Notepad and make some changes. Now I will make a very simple change. Nobody can notice that change. I will just add one extra space here. At line number 1, at the end of line number 1, I am adding one extra space and I am saving it. Now if I go back and check the signature, is it valid? No, it is not signed anymore. Signature certificate is also blank. That means the signature is broken. Somebody has modified that file. So there are two ways. Either you should revert the changes, whatever you have made, make it as previous, or you have to sign this file again using a code signing certificate. There are only two ways to fix a broken signature. So second way is not possible for us because we don't have a code signing certificate. So I will go back and revert the changes which I have made. Remove this extra space, save it. Now if I go back and check the signature again, back to valid. So understood how modifications can be prevented to your scripts? This is only the first step. This will only make sure, sorry, yeah, you cannot do that. So if you have to review your script once again and just scrutinize if there are any unwanted lines of code that somebody has added which could be harmful, and remove that. And you cannot 100% make sure that whatever changes somebody has made, you cannot bring it back to the original 100% as the previous one. So the only option for production environments is to check your code and sign it once again. And digital signing certificates are issued to the developers who are developing scripts in the companies. If their scripts are important, if their scripts are critical, company will take care of providing you the code signing certificate. Okay, let's discuss about the execution policies which are related to this, because just signing the script will not make your environment secure. There are execution policies depending on which you will be or will not be able to execute the scripts which are having their signature broken. So let's discuss about the execution policies. Get-execution policy is the command which will give you the current execution policy. So let's discuss about what are these execution policies. Current one is remote sign. Help about underscore execution policies will give you details about all the execution policies which are available in PowerShell. Okay, so the first one is restricted. This is the default execution policy on Windows 8, Windows Server 2012 and 8.1, which is not a good idea because it will not allow you to run any scripts. No script can be executed. So how to change the policy? Set-execution policy and select the execution policy as restricted. Let me minimize this for a while. It will give you certain warnings. Say yes to all. Now let me open a script. Now this script says, it just writes a message on the screen, script executed successfully. If I try to run this script now, I am getting an error, and the error says the script cannot be loaded because running scripts is disabled on this system. For more information, check about execution policies. That is what the execution policy restricted means. It will not allow you to run any scripts. You can run only commands. Only commands can be run. No matter whether your script is digitally signed or not, you cannot run the scripts. Then comes the execution policy called all signed. Set hyphen execution policy hyphen all signed. Again, it will give you certain warnings. Say yes to all. And if you try to run the script again, this time also you will not be able to run it, but the error is different this time. It says the file is not digitally signed. This script file cannot be loaded because it is not digitally signed. Let me change the color. Tools option, because this red on this dark blue, it is not visible. Console pane, console tokens. Okay, here output stream, error foreground. It is red. Let's change it to no big difference. Let's change it to magenta. It will not change for the previous ones, it seems. Yeah. Is it visible now? So the error says it is not digitally signed because execution policy is set to all signed. You cannot run this script on the current system because it is not digitally signed. You can run only digitally signed scripts now. This is the policy which will allow only the scripts which are digitally signed. If you don't have a code signing certificate, you can write scripts but you cannot run scripts. This is not a good idea, right? Then what is the next policy? Remote sign. This is the policy which is moderate one, and this is the default execution policy for Windows Server 2012 R2 and onwards. What does this policy say? It will allow you to run scripts which are developed locally, but any script which is coming from email attachment, which is coming from internet download, which is coming from any chat windows, anything which is coming from external sources, it will not run those scripts. Now you can set the execution policy to remote sign. Again, certain warnings, yes to all. Now if you try to run this script, because this script is created locally, I should be able to run this script. But if I download some script from internet, let me see if I have any script which is downloaded from internet. Under downloads, no. Okay, let me check under scripts. Okay, so any script that you are downloading from internet, how do you come to know that this script is downloaded from internet? When you go to properties of that file, under that you will see something called as unblock. That indicates that this file is coming from internet. That is how PowerShell will come to know that this file has came from internet. Let me show you. Under downloads, you go to any of these exes, the properties, select this file, go to properties. See here, you see this unblock. This unblock indicates that this file has came from some other computer. Any script that you are downloading from internet will have this unblock thing there. That is how PowerShell will come to know through operating system that this file is coming from internet. And why internet things are blocked? Because there could be some malicious code in those script files. There could be some ransomware attack code. When you run that script, it might encrypt your file system. So to prevent any damage due to the scripts which are coming from internet, we will set the execution policy to remote signed. What does that mean? Any script which is coming from internet should be digitally signed. When a script is digitally signed, you can be 100% sure that the script will not have any malicious code, or it is not coming from a hacker or any attacker, because digital signing certificates, the code signing certificates, will not be issued to individuals or attackers or any hackers. Those are issued to the companies. That is why people trust these certificates. Got it? Next one is unrestricted. Now this is not something which is recommended. You can change the policy to unrestricted using the same command, set execution policy and execution policy as unrestricted. It will allow you to run any code, even the code which is coming from internet. All the scripts which you develop locally or the scripts which are coming from internet, you can run it without any issues. It will not prevent any script executions, which is not recommended. You are exposing yourself or your computer to the risk of running malicious code or malicious scripts. Then comes bypass. Bypass is something that you will use when you are running your scripts through some other program. So bypass comes into picture when you are running PowerShell code from .NET, C# or some other program where you don't want to rely on the PowerShell's execution policies. You will take care of security by yourself. That time you will make use of bypass. This is rarely used. Then comes undefined. Undefined will come into picture when you want to set the policies through group policy. When you have to set the execution policy through group policy, at local level you will set it to undefined, so that whatever comes from the group policy level, that will overwrite whatever is given at the local level. And suppose you have given undefined at the local level, and from the group policy also there is nothing defined, then it will automatically become restricted. That is what it says. If execution policy in all scopes is undefined, then the execution policy becomes restricted, which is the default execution policy. So that's all about the execution policies. Any questions, team? Okay, let's discuss about what are other security measures available in PowerShell. One of the other security measures, like let me go to ctemp cd. In PowerShell, when you double click, not only in PowerShell, in your Windows operating system also, when you double click on a script, like here I'm double clicking on test.ps1, it will never execute that file. Earlier with VB scripts, that was the case. If you accidentally double click on a VB script file, it will start doing its job. But here, for security purpose, if you accidentally double click a script file, it will not run the script, it will just show that file in Notepad. You have to get into PowerShell, and from there you have to call it either by the complete path or by giving dot backslash and the script file name. Even from here you cannot directly give test.ps1 to run the file. You have to give dot backslash test. That indicates that you are really trying to run this file. So those were the other security measures which are available. Any questions about security aspects of PowerShell? Do you have any questions? Is it clear? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, no issues. You can go through it and let me know if you have any questions. Let's stop the recording.